Hi guys, it's France. Welcome to this journal on Monday, week 134. I'm starting with one of my stencils in my journal on Monday art journal. This is the rusted rivet stencil, the big one. And I need to protect the other page of my journal as I really want to work all the way on the edge of this paper. And as my journal is starting to get quite wonky, I need some help to keep the stencil in place. My first layer is some Deco Art crackle paste, just applying it with my palette knife. Not playing too much around with it, just applying it and then adding the same thing on the other side, just using some of the rivets. I left this to dry naturally to make sure that I would have as many cracks as possible. Now I need to protect the center of my journal as I know that I will be working with a lot of water and I don't want to colorize my entire journal. So for this one time I'm adding some masking tape in the middle. I am mixing up some glazing medium with fluid acrylics. And I'm also adding some water to it. Now, like I said, I'm going to be using a lot of water, so I'm prepping a lot of kitchen roll on the side. So I'm starting with my darkest color, which is also a little bit more translucent than my second color will be. This is the Payne's Grain one. And then I'm making it run all over my spread. So I'm starting on the side where I have my crackle paste and I'm just helping it to run over the paper. Now it's too translucent, so I mixed up a little bit too much fluid glazing medium with the fluid acrylic, so I'm adding some unmixed paint to it. Now I need to set this color before I can start working with the second one, which is my phthalo turquoise. And I'm just working in the exact same way. So far I have something that's very gentle and smooth. I want to spice it up a little, so I'm just adding some splatters using that same phthalo turquoise. Going back in with the stencil, this time I'm using my circle stencil and I'm starting with the small one, but I will also be working with the large one. And using a white gel pen, I'm adding some circles in the background. once I'm happy with all the circles I've traced, I'm going back in with premium acrylic. And I'm not using the fluid acrylic this time because I want to make sure that the paint stays inside the stencil despite the wonkiness of my journal. And I'm also using a baby wipe to keep my finger moistured so that I can keep playing around with the paint and mixing them all together. So I'm using a white, again the phthalo turquoise, and the Payne's gray. When I did the third circle, I realized that I still had some paint underneath my stencil, and I did try to clean it up, but that's okay. I will just mask it later on with something else. I want to spice it up some more, so I'm going in with a contrasting color, which is quinacridone gold, of course, the rusty color to go for. And again, just adding some splatters. Now I know that I will want to add some cambric to it, so I'm using the paint that I have left over to colorize it as well. Now that I know how I want to use my colorized cambric, I can start to alter it, and I'm adding a piece of white as well to tone it down. And then I'm adding my actual journaling around the circles. I feel lately when I'm working in my art journal that I really want to add some writing again, so I'm doing just that. I'm starting with a black gel pen, and when I'm done I will go over it with a white gel pen to tone down the black. Even if it doesn't cover it completely, it does tone it down slightly. My focal word, which is I am, is again one of my stamps from the Perfect Words Illusionary Artist stamp set. Just stamping it on, I think this is even paper from my printer, so really nothing special about it. I'm distressing the edges using my scissors, and then trimming the cambric to the right size. And at this point I wasn't sure whether I wanted to have it on the left or on the right, and after some thinking I decided it would go on the right because I also wanted to add some sewing on the right to remind the grunginess of the left side of the spread. I'm using some double-sided tape to help me keep the cambric in place while I go over it with my sewing machine. And I'm also adding some blue distressing on the edges of my little word to make it work with the rest. Now, my sewing machine wasn't that cooperative while I did my stitching, but that's okay. I will still keep it in there, just trying to pull the thread in a bit of a nice way. So I just kept pulling and tugging until it was the way I wanted it to be, and then I could stick down my little word just using some decoupage glue. I'm adding a border with my black pen on the word too, to make it stand out from the sewing so that it doesn't just drown in the background. And then I'm also adding that same stamp that I used for the background with distress ink. Now I can start distress the cambric even more. Now that it's attached, I can pull. The final step is to have the left side of the spread and the right side of the spread really work together. And to do that, I'm adding some more journaling on the left side as well, around one of the circles that I did with the white gel pen. That's it for today. I hope you liked today's spread. If so, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and see you back next time. Ta-da!